If you think that thing used to be better and you miss the challenging games of the NES and Famicom era, then Internax is made especially for you. She brings the player back to the 18th, almost verbalism, quoting one of the legendary platformers of the time, Castlevania II: Simon's Quest. Over time, the attitude towards this game has changed, but apparently it has not ceased to inspire independent developers. In the role of a young duke, we return home after a series of crusades. Our hero was not in his native land for so long that he missed the appearance of all kinds of evil spirits on the Holy Lands. Without taking off his armor and without laying aside his mace, the Duke set off on his next journey and stumbles upon a door locked with a magical seal. To remove it, you need to find 5 neighboring castles and defeat the bosses in them. Then you can put an end to the curse. Already here you can see similarities with the sequel to the Castlevania. And only there we were looking for 5 parts of Dracula's body. Here, as in the Konami classic, religious motifs are constantly traced. Churches with ministers and holy fathers crossed on the menu and the tombstones, inverted stars everywhere, and so on. The artist of Internax tries to convey the atmosphere of gothic hopelessness with skulls, hangmen, half-dead prisoners in cage, and other detail. A little more and everything would be more like a parody, but the game successfully balanced on the edge. Despite the fact that we seems to be playing for a villain knight in armor, it is not at all necessary to remain a good man. More than once, Internax will offer to make a choice that will affect the story. Do you see a Trump who is clearly not feeling well and asks to be killed, to fulfill his request or try to help? Some cultists have set up camp next to the store, listen to the salesman and drive them away or join them. The consequences can be unexpected and appear completely suddenly, and in the end you will complete the game on the side of good or evil, for which you will receive the corresponding achievements. A reason to replay the campaign and act differently in each situation. The gameplay is a Metroidvania with all the usual elements, such as a side view, interconnected regions with forks and areas that are inaccessible until new skills are required. The main character has a very limited set of skills. He jumps, crouches and hits with a mace. Over time, new abilities open up, but there are very few combat ones among them. They are mainly needed to reach new location. With the games of the NES era, Internax has in common how difficult it is, especially at first when the character is frail and he has little health, and the skeleton must be hit in 3 times before it falls apart. For defending enemies, you get experience and gold. The first is spent on improving characteristics, protection, health and mana, and the second is linked to buy goods in shops. There are also new mechs and stronger armor and lives that allow you to resurrect in the same room in case of death. The game offers 2 modes, classic and a normal. In both, ultras are scattered around the map, in which they allow you to save process, so that in the event of the final death, you will be reborn next to them. In classic mode, there are several such altars, and the experience and gold earned after the last save are taken away if the players die. In the usual, there are more save points, and the currency is not completely taken away. Of course, you want to complete the game in the classic mode, but get ready for a severe test. The level design is clearly inspired by classic games. Opportunities are sure to appear where they would not be better, and platforming is not so easy. Sometimes the camera is specially wide so that you cannot see You cannot see where the platforms are located below. This is a test of attentiveness, since everything could be seen in the first second after appearing in a new room. In one of the episodes, you will find yourself on a dam, where you need to jump on spinning wheel and at the same time shoot down flying enemies with a mace, fall into the water, died with the ants. In another, you need to run across the platforms when a monster jumps out of the water. Spears fly out the walls and floor, and teleporting magicians shoot fireballs. It sounds scarier than it really is, but still moments like this can seem unfairly difficult. Therefore, it is advisable to wait from time to time and save our currency for good equipment. It will not save you from falling into the abyss, but other obstacles will become a little easier. Basically, difficulties arise in castles. They are arranged in such a way that the path of the boss is closed and you first need to find one or two keys, or some kind of ability in general. But you won't immediately know whatever you need to go to the left for the key, to the right or even up. You will have to look for it through trial and error. Sometimes after taking as a key, you return outside to save yourself and not run after it after death. In a couple of castles, I caught the feeling that the game did not involve such an approach to passing. Some design decision indicates this, but it was still possible to do this. In most cases, the path to the boss is much more stressful than the fight with him. When you increase your health, get normal ammo, and a mace and learn a healing spell, the bosses will start to fall apart in a few seconds. They have few moves and reaching a weak point is usually easy, but this can hardly be called a disadvantage. For me, simple fights on the contrary become a reward for the previous torment. Of course, at any time you can switch to normal mode, save experience after each death and quickly pump to the hero to the maximum, but the game was clearly not designed like that. Other side of the castle, the game tries to be a lot like a Castlevania 2. Settlements with houses, where the characters carry back and forth and say a couple of phrases when you talk to them. The lack of silence and explanation of what to do. Remember yourself, where you saw a high platform which you can jump on only now. At some point you will need to use a spell to make the castle appear, but I only found out about this from the internet. Before that I had to run aimlessly all over the map. Even the change of the day and night is here after sunset. More jumpy, fast and dangerous monsters appear on the streets, for which they give more experience. In addition to the main plot with the search for the 5 demons, there are other entertainments. Some characters in cities can give you side tasks, and these people are not different from ordinary actors, so you need to communicate with everyone in a room. Someone knows about the skeleton that appears at night in some reason. Someone asked to save her husband from adversity. This quest not only bring the world to life and can affect the ending, but also allow you to earn experience and gold. If you want to do everything you can here, the passage will be able to stretch out for 10 hours or less if you don't die too often. So I really recommend you Internax. Thank you for watching.